Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1687, the first GL podcast of the year 2026. This is January 5, 2026, 47 degrees, the record high on this day in both 1885 and 2019, and 28 below on this day in three occasions, 1884, 1912, 1924. Call Josh Arnold. Start the new year right. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Hi. Hello. Happy New Year. How are you?
Great.
Much happened in my absence, including the governor having been told that he's not going to run again. I refuse to believe he has reached this decision on his own. That would require character, and he has shown very little of it.
You think there was some arm tugging?
I believe there's been a meeting of the great minds in the DFL and said, Tim, you're not going to run again. And he accepted that. And then he just concluded his remarks, in fact, and we have them for you. I don't like the look on your face that you were puzzled by that.
Nope. I had to reset this, so just give me just a moment, sir.
That was one of the funnest press conferences I have ever heard, Joe. I was not ready to belly laugh and wipe tears away like I did.
How long did it take him to get to Trump? About the third sentence?
Good Lord.
Yes. Oh, it was so wonderful.
Now, that creates the possibility of a competent candidate to represent the DFL. It makes the DFL less beatable in this state, but the exchange, the trade-off could be a person with experience and competence and a desire to put this state back on the right path, because it has veered dreadfully off course. And anytime you're ready, I would like to hear our governor announce that he's not running.
Sultans, I have to tell you, I was glad to turn the page on 2025.
Stop.
It was an
I didn't get far into it. Yeah.
Wow. He got that line from Gwen.
You're right.
Turn the page.
Yep.
Oh.
Continue.
You're right.
difficult year for our state, and it ended on a particularly sour note. For the last several years, an organized group of criminals have sought to take advantage of this state's generosity.
Stop. There's, words mean something, Tim, and there's a great deal of difference between generosity and the creation of 15,000 different programs to distribute money. That's not generosity. Continue.
And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters, we now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis.
Stop.
I got to get the rib shot ready.
You got to stop this. We've gone from fraud in the first 20 seconds of his remarks to the fact that this is merely an opportunity for political opponents to take advantage of the fraud. That is not the case. Continue.
I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place.
Stop.
By the way, for the record, 28 seconds it took for Trump to be mentioned.
I don't understand how... continue.
Want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family.
Stop. Tim, this is not the best place in the country to raise a family. The taxes are outrageous. The spending habits have been irresponsible. The schools aren't doing that great of a job, and all they do is have their hand out. You have political operatives in place who are opposed to law enforcement. And I'm leaving out the weather. Those of us who remain here are used to the weather.
That's where I was going to go. And plus, it's cold as hell in the winter and hot and soggy and skeeter bitten in the summer.
I don't. As a Minnesotan, the weather does not bother me. This is a bad place to raise a family because of the people we've elected. Continue.
They've already begun trying to withhold funds that were meant to help families afford child care. And they have no intention of stopping there. Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust. That's why over the past few years, we've made systemic changes in the way we do business. We've gone to the legislature time and time again to get more tools to combat fraud.
Stop.
No.
You were always the CEO, Walz. You could have stopped it at any moment. The buck stopped with you, and once you got the buck in your hand, you let it move on. The buck stopped with you, and you failed miserably.
We've hired people we fired people who weren't doing their jobs. We've seen people go to jail for stealing from our state. We've cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government, where we saw widespread criminal activity. We put new locks on the doors of our remaining programs. And
Can I pull a card here?
Yeah.
We need to hear that part where he talked about the federal government's role with this. I want you to. There's a key word in
the
there.
federal government forced Minnesota to stop, right?
Yes. But he basically acts like they were just a kind of a small.
Like they were partners, arm in arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
for stealing from our state. We've cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government,
No.
Wait a minute.
where we saw
Partnership.
You already ripped the federal government, Don. Don, Tim, whatever. Close enough.
widespread criminal activity. We've put new locks on the doors of our remaining programs, and we've hired a new head of program integrity to make sure that those locks can't be broken.
So
All
stop.
across the
You were the head of integrity, Walz. You just aren't able to get that through your head. You're unable to acknowledge your role in this.
state, Minnesotans are hard at work on this problem. Advocates, administrators, investigators are on the front lines defending the integrity of our state's program.
Stop. Federal investigators.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
And I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to all of them. There is more to do. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for
there's
everyone,
been billions.
from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis. We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But the political gamesmanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder. We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children. We've got the President of the United States
Here we go.
demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on. It's disgusting and it's dangerous. Republicans are playing politics with the future of this state. It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals.
Stop. I've offered a number of opinions and ideas, and you won't come on this show. Continue.
And we welcome the involvement of the federal government. I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem. And
Stop. And none of the programs you had really helped anybody, Walz, because the money was stolen.
Intention of trying to profit off of it. Which brings me to this. 2026 is an election year. Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race. But as
Let's pause for laughter, shall we?
God almighty.
It's almost like it's a sitcom. It needs a laugh track.
Yeah. Okay, thank
I
you.
reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity.
Well, you never have. You never did.
Wait a minute. So would that be unlike when he was running for VP and we didn't see him for about 6 months?
Right.
Cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness
Stop.
and zero.
I don't know if it's better that he'd keep running so he wouldn't be working on this because he can't do it anyway.
That's a good point.
Right.
That's a really good
Right.
point.
He's now going to be sitting in sweatpants playing video games for the rest of the year.
Eating SpongeBob's Cheetos or whatever. What's her name? The
Let's
daughter.
finish this.
Focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret. I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job to do the job.
What? Well,
Minnesota
you
faces
didn't.
enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment. Minnesota has always come first and always will. That's what I believe servant leadership demands of me. As an optimist, I'll hold out some hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle will consider what servant leadership demands of them in the moment. We can work together to combat against the criminals. We can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities, and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans,
What?
I will
What
fight
game is
back
that, Tim?
with
What?
everything that I have. I am absolutely confident a Democratic and a DFLer will hold this seat come November. I'm confident that I'll find ways to contribute to the state that I love.
That's
long
okay.
after
You
next
can
year.
leave.
But there'll be time to worry about all that later. Today, I'm proud of the work we've done to make Minnesota America's best place to live and raise kids.
It isn't.
From our new paid leave policy
Oh.
to our child tax credit to our school lunch programs feeding every single child. And I'm doubly proud of the incredible team we put together to make this vision a reality. I want to take a moment to thank every member of my staff, to every single state employee who has been part of this fight. Now more than ever, I need you on the job. I need you to help work together to tackle the important work in front of us. And most of all, I want Minnesotans to know how grateful I am for the opportunity to serve this state, for the privilege that I have been given to serve in this office. I'm on the job. I'm focused on making sure that we stay America's best place to live and raise kids.
Okay, Tim.
No one will take that away from us.
No.
I'm proud of the way we treat our neighbors. I'm proud of the way that we welcome people to this state. I'm proud of the way that we innovate. And I'm proud of the way that we are optimists for the future. No one's taking this away from us.
Is he almost
not
done?
the fraudsters. Certainly not this president. Not on my watch. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you. I'll give you an update on America's best paid family medical leave program that is now a week into it. And at that time, I'll take all your questions. Thank you all.
No, you won't.
From the January 3rd Wall Street Journal, here is the real problem in Minnesota. The real problem is once upon a time, the safety net was intended to help the disabled and sick who cannot support themselves, not those who choose not to work, which is what it has become. Consider this in Minnesota. Minnesota offers a working family's tax credit of up to $3,089 a year. We have, well, this is a list of all the programs. We have housing programs. We have food programs. We have paid leave programs. We have child care programs. We have health care programs. We have seen under the Walz administration an incredible transfer of money to welfare programs. And there are so many programs and so much money that the Wall Street Journal notes it is an open vault for scammers, especially when politicians are loath to police fraud because doing so might be called racist or anti-poor. But it's also corrupting for beneficiaries who have an incentive to remain on the dole rather than build an independent life. That's exactly what's happened here. And this family leave now just kicked in. The ink wasn't dry on the paper, and 12,000 families applied for family leave.
On day one.
I'm feeling a little gassy. I'll see you in 3 months.
Minnesota lets workers take up to 20 weeks of paid family and medical leave a year if they've earned at least $3,900 in the prior year. The entitlement is funded by a 0.88 percentage point payroll tax. A worker who earned $4,000 last year can receive as much as $5,538 in paid leave.
Oh, you get a raise.
Wow.
That's kind of a nice deal.
So you don't think this will appeal to people? 12,000 people tripped over each other trying to sign up for this as fast as possible.
What was, you and Royce had a buddy that worked at the paper talking about taking his sick time.
I don't recall this.
Royce tells a story about how, well, I don't take it. He's like, that's because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Meaning he wasn't going to let any of that go.
Oh, my God.
Well, good riddance. I'm sure that Walz was coached and said, you can't run again. You're a disaster, and we've got to find somebody else. Now, the question is, and anyone associated with the Walz administration would continue to make the same mistakes. And that's even giving them a benefit of the doubt that this was merely a mistake. Peggy Flanagan would be a disaster. Keith Ellison would be a disaster. Amy Klobuchar says she might consider it. Dean Phillips, to me, would be a good candidate. There are competent DFL people. This group drank the poison, and they're long gone.
What about Omar Fateh?
No.
Which one of those
And
that you
Melvin
mentioned?
Carter? No, not
Joe,
qualified at all.
Those possibilities you mentioned, which one of them are, or I should, let me rephrase that, are any of them beatable by, let's say, Lisa Damuth?
That's what my question is. Is this going to help us or hurt us with him out of the race?
It depends on who they offer. If they offer Amy, it's going to be a struggle, I would guess.
Yeah.
Then who runs for Senate for her?
Royce White.
Oh, Lord.
Can you guys help me while we're paused here? The governor mentioned something about Republicans and whistleblowers. What was he talking
He said the
about?
Republicans are hiding the whistleblowers.
Right,
And that-
hide and seek with the whistleblowers.
Well, but there was a reason for that, Tim. They just didn't make them available for testimony because they didn't trust the people you have in place.
Right. They wouldn't give them to the legislature
Right.
in general, just to.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
I'm
he
gonna-
played hide and seek with $18 billion, so
Winter is here.
yeah.
I missed a great deal of it, I understand.
Oh, you did, but we
Yeah.
covered. We're Minnesotans.
And that's fine, isn't it?
We're
It's
tough.
a great place to raise kids.
I hope your garage door got through it. If it didn't, get a hold of Precision Garage Door. Right now, if you need a new door, $500 off the purchase of the new door and the operator combination. They have models for every budget. A designer comes out. The consultation is free. It'll do wonders for your property. If you like your current door, but she's acting up, not behaving well in this spate of winter we've been having, you can get a 25-point safety inspection. They're calling it the Noisy Door tune-up special for $149, regularly a $290 value. This winter can do a number on your garage door, and maintenance reduces future wear and breakdowns of your door. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985.
Who doesn't love this time of year? Football playoffs are here, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Underdog is so easy, you just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. If you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So many great players to choose from this time of season, but the way I look at it, I think Matthew Stafford to go higher on yards passing is always a good way for me to go, and Saquon Barkley's a nice pick to go higher on rushing yards. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
See, I had a deep thought. I tried not to have any deep thoughts last week, but I'm afraid I can't help myself. I got to thinking. Do you know anything? I'm asking all of us here. Do you know about the availability of state programs? Have you ever wondered about that?
No.
Gabe? Reeves?
Only because I know someone that works in the industry, but I don't know the extent of the programs available.
Well, for example, when the food program began,
sure,
in about 2019, it was a hastily assembled program, ostensibly believed to be needed because somehow the politicians believed COVID would hamper children getting fed. So they whipped up this program in Washington, and states could apply for the money and then distribute it to people who fed children. Did anyone know that program was being created?
Yeah, we talked about it extensively.
Once we learned about it.
Right, correct. Oh, yeah. Right.
Never was sought.
Not
I never
before,
saw it
yeah.
after.
No, but you woke up on a Monday, you didn't know that program was suddenly in operation.
Correct.
Well, who did? And how did they learn? And how was it possible that so many fraudsters so quickly applied right at the moment of the program's inception? It was in fraud.
It's almost as if they knew somebody on the inside.
Well, let's not get too carried away. But yes, the average Minnesotan doesn't wake up every day and have some means of checking an updated roster of available state money. I certainly never have.
I would go so far as even to say, even if you're not well off, if you are poor, you are not looking for some type of program to feed your son or daughter lunch.
Didn't Amy Bach take the heat for that? Wasn't it her?
Yes, someone immediately knew about this program, and immediately a flood of applications arrived at the Department of Education. They all were filled out. People started getting money. It took a while. It took a long time to realize that it was fraud. No one was getting fed. I'm very comfortable saying that. No one was getting fed. And you didn't hear about any starving children.
Right.
And B, you never were made aware of long lines of children being fed by this program.
Well, that was your point from the get-go. These would have been all covered in the news.
And the first tip-off was Heather Mueller, the head of the Department of Education. Once it was discovered, she's gone. She's conveniently allowed to leave and move on, and then she gets replaced. Now, I'm trying to stay on track with my deep thought. There's got to be, I think it has two components. One is the government that's been created in the United States is awash in programs. There's tens of thousands of ways to get money from the taxpayer. And so component number one is there are people waiting to take advantage of that money. The second part of the program would be there must be people who facilitate getting the money. There must be groups of people who did in fact know, oh, look at this, starting December 2nd, we have a new program coming from the Department of Agriculture that'll unleash untold millions of dollars to states so they can distribute it to feed children. And then somehow those people make people aware of this. Am I on the right track?
Correct. Yep.
Those people, they maybe Amy Bach, is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe Amy Bach, whose biographical history is sketchy. Maybe she was someone who was legitimately involved in knowing the release of new programs. I'd have to go back and review her bio.
She founded the organization in 2016 and repeatedly applied for grants from the state of Minnesota, but was rejected due to allegations of mismanagement and abuses. That's Feeding Our Future, Joe.
Right. So did Feeding Our Future ever have a legitimate base? A basis for operation? Did it ever have, was it ever legitimate? Because the minute the Department of Agriculture hastily assembling this program because of COVID, the minute that money became available, it was fraudulently taken, most specifically by one group of people.
Yeah. According to what I'm reading, Minnesota Department of Education officials identified early signs of fraud in 2019, July of 2019,
right
before COVID.
So I guess the deep thought I had was there are people who make it their business to be plugged in to those developments.
Correct.
They make it their business and some of it they might walk away from because they realize, well, there's really no way we can steal any money there. There's too many security guards and gates up. That would be too tough. But then because they're in that business, along comes this program and they think, look at this. They're just unleash this willy-nilly out of whole cloth. They're gonna open a bag of cash to feed people. Well, that's one we can take advantage of. So they move in and they take advantage of that one. For all I know, there's been 10 programs since food money from the Department of Agriculture that they walked away from, that they didn't do. But then in this state, the same thing might have happened with, they're going to throw a lot of Medicaid money at autism. Suddenly you had about a 200% increase in autism centers.
It was more than that, wasn't it?
There are people. Boy, the job to clean up this state is going to be difficult. We have people who make it their business to study where the money is, where it's coming from, when it'll arrive, and how difficult it will be to take.
Well, that's why Walz had to step down, because he has to fight this.
But
he has to fight this.
Why didn't someone say, prior to Feeding Our Future, where have these kids been up until now? Why is there this serious hunger right now.
Because many sins were committed under the heading of COVID.
So, Joe, do you think, do you surmise it's somebody within the government, or do you think it's somebody that just spends their days surfing government websites and doing the research for nefarious purposes?
I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
I think it could go either way. And compounding this is just the plethora of ways that money can be applied for. What the Wall Street Journal was referring to with this extraordinary growth of the welfare state in Minnesota up to now, and including the fact that we're going to give you money for nothing, just not to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be disabled. You don't have to have autism. You don't have to be homeless. We now have a program where we're going to pay you just to be you. Yes, you in the back.
Wouldn't it be nice to see the list of the names of the 12,000 that had applied?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
To answer Rook's question and amplify what you said, Joe.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, we moved to virtual learning and they shut down all school lunches.
Yeah.
And at that point, the federal government relaxed requirements for states to get federal child nutrition programs money, and boom, there you go.
And somebody jumped on that.
Well, Amy, for number one.
The relaxed is the key word.
Right.
They
right.
relaxed any guidelines they might have had in place 10 years ago.
Joe, isn't it hysterical that they knew that feeding our future was maybe a little bit janky before COVID?
Yes.
But COVID hits and they said, here you go.
Yep.
Here's the money.
Yep.
The Sahan Journal is where I'm reading my info here, and apparently when that happened, when they were relaxed, and the funds became available, Feeding Our Future and Partners in Quality Care began greatly increasing the number of vendors who were working with them. So
there it is, folks. If you go back to the beginning, somebody was able to take advantage of this and spot this as a real opportunity for theft. And then they stole it. Yes.
Along those same lines, are you guys ready to have your doors blown off? Liz Collin, you guys are familiar with her work, Alpha News. They were submitted a Craigslist ad.
I saw it and I discounted it. I think it's a bit.
You do?
Yeah, I do think it's a bit.
Is it plausible?
It was a Craigslist ad calling for child actors to.
Okay.
And if you were really looking for that, you wouldn't have used the term child actors, because that just gives away that you're being fraudulent.
But the ad was pulled.
I don't care. It's a bit.
Okay.
It's a bit.
All right.
It's a tough one to buy.
Okay.
I'm not buying that one at all.
Is there any way we can bring back Double Jeopardy? I want to see Amy Bach tried every 6 months for the same crime.
Just to refresh and feel better?
Maybe could she break rocks on a square somewhere in the Twin Cities?
In a field?
Yeah. So we can all drive by and watch her breaking rocks.
With the black and white?
It's not terribly comforting. And this Walz with his braggadocio keeps saying, this is the greatest state in the country. It's not, Tim. There are so many problems here that are burdening hardworking, honest, law-abiding citizens. There are so many giveaway programs, so many welfare programs, so many entitlements, such incredibly high tax rates that it is not a great place for a family to try to get by in this state, Walz, and you have contributed to that mightily. Your words are almost the exact opposite of everything that's happened in this state.
And proving that by mass migration. That's the number one thing plaguing this state right now.
What's the next fraud? Or is there? Are there going to
It started Monday.
It did start Monday, and 12,000 people signed up.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
No, the next fraud. That's an interesting question. What is the next fraud? We don't know, but there are people who know what it will be.
They're just waiting, rubbing their hands together.
There are people who this is what they do. And we don't do it. It's never occurred to honest people in the state of Minnesota, whether they live in Roseau or Rochester. It's never occurred to people to every day thumb through the latest, I'm sure you can find it, thumb through the latest programs coming online in Minnesota.
The way I look for foreclosed property in the back of the paper.
The way I look for boats and cars on one ad site.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, because Matthew, you're in charge of this, right? Have you seen an increase?
How many people at the airport have applied?
For our company, we haven't had anybody apply yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how that,
everyone was feeling it.
Everybody is at work. That's
everybody's feeling it today.
Who here at GL has applied already?
Not me.
Besides me.
I have twice, but they're always, it's like buying a car. We're having trouble with your paperwork, Mr. Mikulski. We can't push it through.
Speaking of buying a car, I have 3 pickups, and they all drank Seafoam over the Christmas break like it was spiked eggnog. You can prevent common engine problems, run better, last longer, do it all. Seafoam motor treatment handles all of that and more. It's safe, it's proven effective, and it's been helping us with our cylinders since 1942. Actually, to quote my friend John, it all started in the late 30s when a fella got sick of the hassle of trying to keep his outboard running due to fuel issues. His buddies found out, then more people found out, and by 42, business was hopping. Seafoam motor treatment now, fast forward 2026, is one of the best-selling automotive additives in North America. It's the proven choice for mechanics, fossil fuel-fired cylinder enthusiasts, and all sorts of people who love or depend on engines every day. Add it to gas to solve upper engine carburetor and intake issues. Put it in the crankcase to clean out the carbon and gunk that plug and restrict oil passageways. And it's available all over everywhere. Hardware stores, big box, auto parts, C-stores, even grocery stores stock Seafoam. A wonderful product in a world of bad gas. Seafoam.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser. Ready?
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Well, in my absence, some young YouTuber or citizen journalist, as they might be called, Nick Shirley, came to town and riled up the locals with his idea that about daycare fraud. And Tom Hauser, for example, filled in here, and he was upset in the sense that Nick Shirley really wasn't revealing anything that Jay Coles and Hauser and others had already revealed. And that's a game a lot of us find that we're playing. You know, we've been talking about fraud here for years and years and years. And there's a couple of interesting ways to look at this. One, the Star Tribune really, really loves to shoot messengers. They sit up in the catbird seat and they're trying to plink off messengers as fast as they can find them. They did it with the Rick Capcella documentary that was called
A Precarious State.
A Precarious State. They were very concerned about who paid for that, although they could not contest one fact of Capcella's findings. Now they're very concerned about this Nick Shirley had come to town. And who was Jack? Did he go around with a guy named Jack or Dave or
yeah, it wasn't Jack.
And then they had a big piece Sunday on I think it was Dave Hoke, who once ran for governor, and they were very upset about this. Well, they didn't contest any facts. Here's something we all, and this is very difficult for me personally to accept, but I'm getting there. This is the future of journalism.
No.
You don't think so?
This is not journalism, Joe.
Well, it's not the future of journalism, but it's the future of the way what journalism should treat as a story.
You don't get to call yourself a journalist if you have a website, a podcast, and a camera. Give me a break.
I'm afraid that's the way it's going, though.
Well, he played pretty hard and loose with the facts.
Yeah, but I'm afraid
piece.
That's the way it's going. But can't we agree on something that there's fraud here? I think the print media has done a terrible job with it, and the print media is getting burned by the likes of these guys who show up. And then they have to scramble. And what they're scrambling to do is they're scrambling to denounce the messenger rather than the message.
And it's extra glaring because, in my mind, print media is made for these kind of fraud stories. Going back since forever. That's what print media does best. And in our case, in the fraud case, it seems like they've, to me anyway, have dropped the ball.
It would be like if Woodward and Bernstein were condemned for bringing about the message of Watergate.
Were they?
No, they weren't. That's my point. Okay. Imagine that Woodward and Bernstein were ripped to shreds by the Washington Post for bringing light to Nixon's crimes.
Well, they were ripped by the people who were Nixon backers at that time.
But not the press wasn't involved in condemning them.
It took a good 2 years for all of that, you remember, to develop. And the Republican side was not, they weren't, how can I say this?
Well, no, you're right. Yep, right.
Of any of that.
Right.
But it creates this idea that it's not fraud. You're alleging too much fraud here. We don't have fraud. We're just generous people. And because these are people of color, we don't dare call it fraud, which is B as in B, S as in S. There are certain things that we should all agree on, and the country's become so divided we no longer all agree. We should all agree that this is terrible fraud, no matter who did it. Mm-hmm. We should all agree we're being fleeced by an incompetent administration under Walz. We should all agree, for example, that Trump's charge that Walz put the hit out on Melissa Horton and her husband is absolutely obscene of him to do. That's obscene. Walz didn't put the hit out on anybody.
Right.
But the country bathed in conspiracy. They love that idea that this fruitcake who crept around Maple Grove in the middle of the night last summer was somehow acting on the orders of Walz. That didn't happen. We should all agree that that's bad. We should. And
How do you not?
But people don't.
Oh,
I guarantee you, for what I just said, I'll get emails.
Oh, yeah.
There are people who want to believe that Walz wanted Melissa Hortman murdered. That's absolutely outrageous. But we've reached a point in this country where we can't come together on anything.
Well, can I expound on that just a little? The part that disturbs me about that is I don't care if people believe it, but when the president of the United States is putting that on his social media.
That's bad. Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's
horrible. It's irresponsible, unethical, immoral, ridiculous.
And frankly, a waste of time. And a distraction.
We can't even agree that the fraud is bad. We can't, because there's too many ways it's trying to be excused.
Well, we all agree that the fraud is bad, but when you add that we were served by an incompetent administration, that's where the Walz jumpers jump back on their bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm willing to, we have an obligation to denounce Trump's ridiculous social media. What the hell's wrong? Are you dying? Go outside.
I have my mic on.
Go outside and get some air.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice anything.
He's choking and coughing.
I'm not giving him mouth to mouth.
Big clot came up.
Right.
Where were we?
Yeah. Oh, where were we? We were. Trump has not helped Minnesota's case precisely because of the division. Precisely because of the division. And I'm not ready to go to Venezuela yet.
In your mind, I want to ask you.
I'm in the camp that's glad Maduro's out of there, but I don't have a clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, when residents of the country are celebrating and clapping and dancing in the street when he's gone, that's an indication. Back to our local situation, Joe, what obligation do you think TV news has on covering this fraud? Because obviously Jay covered the Nick Shirley thing a year ago now, January of 2025.
Yeah.
And I saw, while you were gone, I saw comments criticizing Tom and the GL crew and Channel 5 for not having the story or not hammering on the story enough. And I don't think those people realize that you have the 2 to 3 minute window to discuss something that literally takes hours to break down.
I have a deep thought about that, too.
Please.
In every obituary page, whoever you read and see who has passed on, are that many fewer 10 p.m. news watchers and that many fewer newspaper readers.
Well, is it the fault of Tom and Channel 5 that they didn't hammer on this story for 5 minutes every single night for the last 10 years?
No,
is
it's
it
not their fault. No, they had the story. They have time constraints.
Yeah.
The Star Tribune never had the story. Never had the story. Pioneer Press never had the story. Part of that is newspapers are just a very slim shadow of what they once were. I understand, by the way, a little comical aside, that nobody got a Monday paper in town a week ago today.
I had some very colorful off-air commentary from a sports
the
reporter.
Trucks bringing the papers from Des Moines couldn't get here.
Yeah, we closed the freeway.
Printed in Des Moines, and we had a snowstorm. So
can I defend Tom for just a brief second? And he said this on the show in your absence. He gets hammered a lot because, people want him to call for Tim Walz to resign. Well, that's not Tom's job. Tom's job is to report on the news, not, call for the resignation of a governor.
That's my job.
That's Joe's job.
Yeah, that's a really good point Chris makes, because a lot of people I see would like Tom Hauser to come out and say, look, this person just stole X amount of dollars and leave it at that.
Hauser has a very professional career, and he's done a marvelous job at hiding his own politics.
And you have a fart button.
And I have buttons.
Do people not realize they can't differentiate, Joe? Is that where we're at?
In fact, Hauser is unique in the sense that he doesn't give you his opinion on television. He's unique in that sense.
You don't want to.
He could never work for CNN.
Yeah. Or the other
Fox
one, I was going to bring
Or
up
Fox.
Fox as an. People think Sean Hannity's a news reporter.
No, he's an
He's
entertainer.
not a news reporter, but that's what you see people post.
Yeah.
Well, he reported. Well, no, he didn't. He gave you his opinion.
And then it's human nature on Hauser's part or even the Tribune's part. It's human nature to condemn the messenger if you've already given that message. In other words, you feel a little put upon when you see some guy come to town and get 20 million hits for his video when you did the same story 6 months ago.
With integrity.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this Shirley character.
Well, Tom's problem
But the
was...
left-wing columnists in the Tribune, and they should be called left-wing because they always call other people right-wing. The left-wing columnists are just irate that this 23-year-old had the audacity to point out the fraud.
The only time I'd run into Nick Shirley, we talked about this last week, was a couple years back. He went to Ukraine and sat at an outdoor restaurant and said the Russians are not causing any problems in Ukraine. So that immediately told me Nick Shirley perhaps wasn't really,
Well, and you could still go back to that outdoor cafe and probably sit there because that cafe hasn't been attacked yet.
And of course, the point you were trying to make earlier too, Joe, about content creation, especially now going into 2026, it's just different. And as you mentioned, many people are not watching the 5, the 6, the 10 o'clock news. This is good or bad. This is how they're getting their information.
I understand. I said, with every obituary, you've lost a 10 o'clock news viewer. And in the place of that 10 o'clock news viewer are 25-year-olds who are on their phone 15 hours a day. Yeah. And that's where they're getting. I have a kid who admits she gets her news from the phone.
Social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're sitting across from one, too, I think.
Probably.
When's the last time you watched the 10 o'clock news?
No. And I've never missed it.
Is that before or after milk and cookies?
I'm done with that. I never eat any food now after 6 p.m.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah, it's been that way for years now.
I got a message from somebody who gets their news from social on Friday. Amy Coney Barrett has been arrested for treason and is in Gitmo. I spent a good 10 minutes chasing that down.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Why don't we switch over to John?
Okay.
I'll just give you my opinion on all the news. How's that?
Let me tell you about North American Banking Company. Banking done differently since way back in 1998, and they have been promising on that ever since then. Investing in your success is what they are key about and to create a better banking experience. nabankco.com, that's their website. And you know the neat thing about North American Banking Company? They offer the same online and updated mobile banking tools as all of those other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been dreaming about, their experts make all of that easy. And they are also locally owned and operated. And here's why that's important. That means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this also helps all of you business owners solve problems quickly and also expand your business with confidence. You see, they deal with numbers every single day, but you will never be one of them. So once again, find them online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. John?
Thank you, Chris. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. As we've been talking about, Tim Walz will not seek a third term as governor of Minnesota. A lengthy statement, which we played for you. He expressed concerns about fraud and political challenges in Minnesota. He talked to reporters at about 11 this morning. All he did basically was read the statement he released earlier in the morning. He did not take any questions from reporters. He said he would answer their questions tomorrow at a press conference to talk about something else we've talked about today, the state's new leave.
Do you believe him? Do you think he'll take questions from the news tomorrow?
Yes.
Meanwhile, a source close to Senator Amy Klobuchar told the fellow we've been talking about, Tom Hauser, the chief political reporter at 5 Eyewitness News, quote, "In the event Governor Walz decides not to run, she will likely run for governor." The source says Klobuchar is getting outreach from people encouraging her to run and is seriously considering it.
Let's pause there a moment, John.
Stop.
She's a long-standing U.S. senator who probably could be the senator for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Why would she make the move, I wonder?
Democratic orders.
She want to move back home, maybe?
Save the state. They all know what I guess I know, and I don't want to say out loud. She'll win. I hate saying that, but...
And then Black Helicopter Theory, appoint Tim Walz as her senatorial replacement.
I'm not on board with that. I'm not on board with that.
Okay, good.
But I think, and God, I hate thinking this, but I think she'll win if she runs.
Yeah.
It's January 5th, and we're going to do ourselves a favor by not worrying about that race quite yet.
Yeah. And until she announces, too, maybe. Just, if she does. Another story you talked a bit about, the children of Melissa and Mark Hortman, who were shot in June of 2025, have responded to a social media post from President Trump asking him to take the post down and issue an apology. On Saturday, Trump posted a video on Truth Social that claimed Governor Walz was behind the assassination of the former House Speaker and her husband.
Oh, you can't be that stupid, Trump.
The video claims the Hortmans were targeted because Representative Hortman was the only Democrat to vote against a bill providing health care for undocumented immigrants. The Hortman's son, Colin, issued a response to the post saying, in part, my father and mother, Mark and Melissa Hortman, and their dog were killed by a man who believed conspiracy theories and fake news. Words matter. Sharing fake news is dangerous. Vance Belter is facing several charges in both state and federal court in the shooting of Speaker Emerita and her husband, as well as the shootings of Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. They were wounded by the shootings, Hoffman and his wife. Belter has pleaded not guilty.
Isn't Trump the king of saying everything is fake news? Then why is he releasing fake news?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey sworn in for a third term today. Frey is the city's 48th mayor, the strongest in Minneapolis history after voters approved changes to the city charter in 2021. That shifted power from the city council to the mayor. In Minneapolis's new strong mayor era, Frey consolidated control over the city's daily operations among top administrative officers who report directly to him. After serving one term as Ward 3 city council member, he ascended to the mayor's office. As mayor, he's fended off multiple challenges from the political left, most recently defeating Democratic Socialist State Senator Omar Fateh last November. Frey's first two terms marked by some of the greatest challenges that Minnesota has experienced: COVID-19, the death of George Floyd, and officers being depleted from the police ranks, and the opioid crisis fueling homelessness. Well, there's been progress on all fronts since the height of the pandemic in 2020. Many of the issues stick around. For example, Minneapolis is in its third year of a state consent decree prescribing police reforms. It's expected to take more years to take care of. Frey grew up in Virginia. He was a professional runner and lawyer before entering public office. I didn't realize he was a professional runner.
What does that mean? Jogging?
Yeah. He got paid.
Kelly Herr was officially sworn in last Friday.
Wait, I want to be a professional sitter. I did a damn fine job of sitting over the last week.
I wonder if that pays well.
Well, yeah. Just apply for the paid family leave act. There you go.
Keoli Herr, officially sworn in, is the first woman and first Hmong American to be the mayor of St. Paul Friday. Herr laid out her three major priorities to get the city back on track. The first priority, she said, is safer communities and emphasizing support for first responders to address issues like mental health and drug use. Second priority, the economy and finding ways to encourage development.
How did she tell us to pronounce her first name? Is it
Kali, isn't it?
Kali.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Kali Herr.
Kali.
I was surprised because, Joe, in your absence, we got a pretty significant snowfall on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, she was still a little treacherous to get on those side streets in St. Paul.
Oh, I know.
They finally got around to her, but it took a
Let's
couple
get
of
some
days.
salt, should we?
Salt. Shall I continue with national news here? I forget what we...
Sure.
Bradshaw?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Why
Go
not?
ahead.
Run it.
In international news, we haven't hit on this at all, but A huge story, obviously, over the weekend. Deposed Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro declared himself innocent and, quote, a decent man as he pleaded not guilty this morning to federal drug trafficking charges. Maduro told the judge, I'm innocent, I am not guilty, I am a decent man and the president of my country. Maduro was making his first appearance in an American courtroom on the narco-terrorism charges that the Trump administration used to justify capturing him and bring him to New York. Maduro, wearing blue jail uniform, and his wife were led into court around noon Eastern time for a brief but required legal proceeding that will likely kick off a prolonged legal fight over whether he can be put on trial in the U.S. Both put on headsets to hear the English language proceeding as it translated into Spanish. The couple were transported under armed guard early Monday morning from the Brooklyn jail, where they've been detained, to a Manhattan courthouse. The trip was swift. Motorcade carrying Maduro left jail around 7:15 in the morning and made its way to a nearby athletic field, where he slowly made his way to a waiting helicopter. The chopper flew across New York Harbor, landed at Manhattan Heliport.
What a nice helicopter ride.
You know, I'm guilty of reading too much Len Dayton, who I've just discovered late in life, Ipcris File and others. And I'm of the opinion now that everything is about something we haven't considered. In other words, everything that takes place geopolitically is about something that we don't know. In other words, the easy answer on this one is, well, we want the oil. Yeah, they stole it from Exxon. Exxon went in there and built the infrastructure. Now Exxon has the right to go back. It's probably going to be about something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. This is what the public knows, but what's really going on?
The public thinks we did this for oil, but I mean, this, Obama's been involved in this, W's been involved in this, HW's been involved in this.
Yeah.
Biden thought he was
the only one that did something.
Trump's been involved in it. This has always been in the geopolitical menu of things taking place, was a concern about Venezuela.
You're one of us, Joe. You are a conspiracy theorist. I can go back in history and attach that to everything that's happened since World War I, since the outbreak of World War I. Every single story.
But
what's it really about?
There's a level of reason here that is not made privy to the American public.
Yep.
There's a level of operation that we don't know anything about why this was done.
Yeah.
That's my new theory. We have no clue.
Yeah, well, I'm with you, brother.
But to get back to Maduro, let me just tell you why he's such a nice guy. Because as he's walking down the hallway in handcuffs, he's wishing everybody a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
He was, Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
In regards to Maduro, can we play what ifs? Because I've been playing what ifs in my head since this arrest. In regards to all the protesting that are, all these people in America are upset that he was arrested and that Trump went in there. And my what if in my brain is, what if Biden had done this? Would you be protesting then?
The people in this country would not protest Biden.
Well, plus, Kenny, someone would have to point on a map to Biden where Venezuela actually is.
True. That's true.
What about Mrs. Maduro? Is she a looker?
I was kind of underwhelmed.
Is she a Melania type?
Oh, no.
No.
I was a little underwhelmed.
Nobody touches Melania.
No.
Yeah.
Apparently
who's taking care of it.
Why did you say that? Because you knew that's what Joe was going to say.
I wonder who's somebody's taking care of her.
I haven't seen her. I'm picturing Aunt B from
I don't think we're going on
like a
B.
Venezuelan version of Aunt
Venezuelan Aunt B with a giant beehive with bananas and fruit in it and stuff.
Carmen Miranda.
That's Argentina, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yesterday, after all this played out, the president implied he might take military action in Colombia, told Mexico to get its act together on drugs, and said the U.S., quote, needs Greenland. After those remarks about Greenland, in a direct statement, the Greenlandic Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen accused the U.S. of completely and utterly unacceptable rhetoric, saying enough is enough. The comments came after Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said it made absolutely no sense to talk about the U.S. needing to take over Greenland. She added that the U.S. had no right to annex any of the three countries in the Danish kingdom. Greenland, interestingly enough, is protected by NATO's Article 5. That invokes mutual defense in the case of any armed attack or invasion.
You know, the word banana reminds me of monkey never cramps. That interview with the Toronto Blue Jay player, did you ever see that?
No.
It's legit. It wasn't a bit. He missed a game and it was a cramp, a Japanese player. And the guy said, what happened? He said, I cramp, no banana. Monkey never cramps. Eats 2 bananas.
Right.
Yeah, 3 bananas. Monkey never cramps.
Funny. Meanwhile, back to Venezuela for a moment. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, did say yesterday the U.S. would not take a day-to-day role in governing Venezuela other than enforcing an existing oil quarantine on the country. That's a turnaround from what President Trump had said Saturday. President Trump had said we'd be running Venezuela following the ouster of Maduro. Rubio's statement on talk shows yesterday morning seemed designed to temper concerns about whether the American action to achieve regime change might again produce a prolonged foreign intervention or a failed attempt at nation building.
Monkey never cramps.
No. J.D. Vance's home was broken into by a hammer-wielding intruder over the weekend, according to sources. A man was taken into custody after the alleged break-in at the vice president's home in Cincinnati, Ohio. Secret Service agents found the person who had broken the window with a hammer and was trying to get into the house after hearing a loud noise. The agents apprehended the suspect, alerted police. Photographs from the scene show several holes in the windows of the 19th century hillside property. The man had also vandalized a Secret Service vehicle on his way up to the home's driveway. The vice president and his family were at their main residence in Washington, D.C. when all of this happened. Vance flew to the 5-bedroom home in his home state of Ohio after the U.S. operation in Venezuela. He left for Washington Sunday afternoon. In a statement posted to X, Vance said that a crazy person tried to break in by hammering the windows of his home, and he thanked the Secret Service and the Cincinnati police for a swift response.
As opposed to a normal person trying to break into your house.
In Animal House, would Walz be Flounder?
No, he's not lovable.
That's a good
That's
point.
true.
That's true. Yeah.
No.
But he was easily taken
Oh,
advantage
you know
of.
what? That's a fun question. Yeah. What cinema evildoer, or what's the word I'm looking for? Who would Walz be in cinema?
Well, he wouldn't be an evildoer because he's just stupid. That's why I thought Flounder.
Dumb.
He is so easily taken advantage of.
Oh, I know.
Forrest Walz?
He's Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers
Mike
movies.
Myers?
Yeah.
For $1 million.
Oh, there's somebody. I'm picturing a Peter Sellers character. I don't know who yet, though.
You know, when we're done with John and done with the break after John, I have a gift for everybody.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Let me look around here.
A retired Minneapolis police officer has a gift for all of us, and it's very nice.
His citation book.
Yeah, right. I got some open parking tickets.
John's not done.
Oh.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth this morning announced he's issuing a letter of censure to Democratic Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona over the lawmaker's participation in a video that called on troops to resist unlawful orders. Hegseth said the censure was a necessary process step to proceedings that could result in a demotion from Kelly's retired rank of captain in the U.S. Navy. According to Hegseth, Kelly now has 30 days to submit a response to the proceedings. The decision will be made within 45 days, according to Hegseth. Kelly's office had no reply, but Kelly did reply on social media this morning saying, over 25 years in the U.S. Navy, 39 combat missions and 4 missions to space, I risked my life for this country to defend our Constitution, including the First Amendment rights of every American to speak out. I never expected that the President of the United States and the Secretary of Defense would attack me for doing exactly that. Auschwitz survivor Eva Schloss, the stepsister of Anne Frank and a tireless educator about the horrors of the Holocaust, has died. She was 96. The Anne Frank Trust UK, of which Schloss was honorary president, said she died Saturday in London, where she lived. Britain's King Charles III said he was privileged and proud to have known Schloss, who co-founded the charitable trust to help young people challenge prejudice. She said the horrors that she endured as a young woman are impossible to comprehend, and devoted the rest of her life to overcoming the hatred and prejudice. She was born Eva Geringer in Vienna in 1929, fled with her family to Amsterdam after Nazi Germany annexed Austria. She became friends with another Jewish girl of the same age, Anne Frank, whose diary, of course, would become one of the most famous chronicles of the Holocaust. Like the Franks, Eva's family spent 2 years in hiding to avoid capture. They were eventually betrayed and sent to Auschwitz. Schloss and her family, Fritzi, survived until the camp was liberated in 1945. Her father and brother died there. After the war, Eva moved to Britain, married German-Jewish refugee Zvi Schloss, and settled in London. And in 1953, her mom married Frank's father, Otto, the only member of his immediate family to survive. Anne Frank, as we know, died of typhus in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp at the age of 15. Schloss did not speak publicly about her experiences for decades, saying the wartime trauma had made her withdrawn and unable to connect with others.
Wait a minute. Anne Frank died in a concentration camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she made it. I thought she lived.
No, they found her diary way later.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
No, she died in the concentration camp.
I had that part of history wrong, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Jeez. John?
Yes.
Do you need a personal injury lawyer?
I don't think so.
If you do, get a hold of Bradshaw and Bryant.
There it is.
You might not know what to do if you're ever injured in an accident. Insurance companies and adjusters can be difficult to deal with. Let Mike Bryant at Bradshaw and Bryant put together a team to help explain your rights, take care of you, get you through this mess. For 6 consecutive years, Mike has been recognized as a super lawyer, and he's been named among Minnesota's top 40 personal injury lawyers by Minnesota Law and Politics, which is the Bible. They hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation. And don't be part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
Yeah.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
I got a really nice note from a guy named Nick Torborg, who is now retired
is this
as
the
a
gift?
police inspector from the 2nd Precinct. After 32 years as a police officer in the belly of the beast, I will be retiring December 31st. So he's retired.
I bet he knows my buddy Bob Dale, who was an inspector, a detective.
I don't think I would have lasted so long in this job without my regular dose of garage logic. There were many times when I was just about overwhelmed with the insanity that is the politics in Minneapolis, and I listened to an episode of GL and it convinced me, or maybe just gave me some hope that there was a little common sense left in the world. So for that, I say thank you. Now that I'm retired, I can actually speak with members of the media like yourself. If you ever have any questions about the MPD or police work in general, please feel free to reach out to me. I've got his number. Finally, I've enclosed official MPD 2nd Precinct challenge coins for you and the crew. Since they also serve as bottle openers, I am confident you guys will put them to good use. I hope you enjoy them. Sincerely, retired Inspector Nick Torborg, Minneapolis Police Department. Thank you, sir.
I believe I've met Nick.
Here's,
Thank you,
Chris.
Inspector.
Here's Chris.
All right.
I'll be there on Wednesday for mine.
The real deal. Here's Rook.
I got that one. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Gabe, even got you in here.
Nice.
Here's Gabe.
Oh, wow. That's
you
I
got
have
Nick
the
and
open
John.
mind. And here's Kenny and John are right here.
I'll be there on Wednesday. So
Okay.
thank you, Inspector.
Oh,
Holy
damn.
cow, that's cool.
Aren't they neat?
That's very
No,
cool.
Hold
they're
it up so
really
people
cool.
see it. Well, here, give it to me. Give me mine's
can't
out.
see it,
Mine's in
Matthew.
the other room.
No, it's
Here,
too dark.
Rook, give me
Matt.
it. Rook, just here, a challenge coin.
He's a patient man.
Well, not really.
Yeah, these are very cool.
See that?
Nope.
I held it close to the microphone as though that was a camera lens.
Is it talk?
Nope.
Hello,
Can't
open
see
up
it.
another one. Open up another one.
That's neat.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
is. I
sir.
love the
Thank you.
colors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Moved it
Thank
from
you.
Oh, there
that
you go.
microphone
Very cool.
to that
There you go,
microphone.
Gibbs. No. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, now I can see it. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's very nice. What does this one say? Oh. Joe, on our drive home from the family's Christmas gathering, my high school son and I ended up discussing racial slurs.
Oh.
It started because he has friends.
Little family chat. How do you start that one? Hey, brother, what's going on? Let me talk to you.
May I finish?
Yes.
Son, let me tell you.
Yeah. Life.
Well, he's going to explain this if you wouldn't interrupt so much.
I can't help it.
I know. It started because he has friends from all sorts of backgrounds, and we got into why certain slurs are casually tossed around by some groups in conversation, songs, and movies without much backlash, while others would face total social exile for even uttering one quietly. I half-jokingly suggested that Minnesota's DEI bureaucracy should launch an Office of Inclusive Slurs and Equitable Epithets to sort it all out fairly. With things quiet at work today, I drafted this satirical announcement letter from the state of Minnesota introducing the new Equitable Epithet Initiative. It's meant as an over-the-top satire, but given the current political climate here, I can easily imagine some people taking it seriously. Even more disappointingly, others actually cheering it on. Attached is the memo I put together for your review. This is pretty good. Look at this. He got official stationery, state of Minnesota stationery.
Yeah.
Dear Minnesotan, we are thrilled to announce the launch of our groundbreaking Equitable Epithet Initiative. In the spirit of true diversity and inclusion, our office has painstakingly curated a comprehensive list of state-approved racial and ethnic slurs, carefully balanced to ensure every demographic receives an equal opportunity to be offended. This program guarantees proportional representation in progressive prejudice. No group will be left behind in the vital work of equitable discrimination. Mandatory training sessions will begin in March 2026, where state employees will practice deploying those inclusive slurs in workplace settings to promote cultural sensitivity through shared trauma. Remember, exclusion is the real hate speech. Only by offending everyone equally can we achieve justice. Sincerely, Dr. Luna Trigger, she/they, Director, Office of Inclusive Slurs and Equitable Epithets, Minnesota DEI Department. That is too close to the truth to be funny.
Yeah.
I can see the state doing this. You know, not everyone has a racial slur. That's not equitable.
Right.
We got to come up with more
get some
of them.
more here.
That's fantastic.
What are you, Norwegian?
That's from Chris Shearer. Thank you, Chris.
In 2020, the mayor of Duluth advocated for removing the word chief
That's
from
right.
certain city job titles.
Remember
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. I have a question somewhat related. Joe and Kenny, you guys read. I'll ask you if you've run into this.
Oh, that's mean.
I'm sorry. I'm reading, and I'm almost done with a James Elroy book. You familiar with James Elroy?
Yeah.
Called Clandestine, and it has every slur in the world in it. But when the N word is used, it has an N and a line.
Yeah.
Really? Have you ever run into that in a book?
No.
I haven't either. And they use every other slur in the world.
Not in a book. I have not.
And James Elroy, and all those detective books have racial slurs in them, especially in California in the 40s and 50s. This is based in 1955. And,
I just finished a book. This is Author's Corner, I believe.
Oh.
This is Author's Corner.
I thought that was the end of the sentence.
John introduced Author's Corner. I wish to continue it.
All right.
I wish to continue it.
Give me just a second. We got to go.
There's so many to choose from.
It's a library.
Right,
It's time for Author's Corner with Joe Souchere, and this one is a strike.
This is a strike.
I put a little spin on that.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of Garage
I see
Logic,
the pogo
it's
stick.
time for another segment of Author's Corner with Joe Souchere. Author's Corner. Sometimes it gets a little bit crazy.
No, it's very apt that I read this. I don't want to hear another one. it was very apt that I read this because I was at sea last week. I was at sea.
Okay, Sailor Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Was on the ocean.
Skipper.
And
don't. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You were not.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like a seagoing vessel. He was
I was.
on the horn,
Gilligan.
on the horn of
Okay.
Africa.
All right.
Sailed from here over to the Sea of Cortez and back. And I read a book called Marriage at Sea. And it's nonfiction. And it's the story of Maurice and Marilyn Riley, who in 1972 set off in their homemade boat. They're both a little odd.
Homemade boat scares me, but go ahead.
About a 30-footer. And they were going to say, they just wanted to be alone. They just wanted to get away from life. And they did, and a whale punched a hole in their boat.
Yeah.
And they were adrift for 107 days, I think. 107 days in a rubber dinghy.
Game of Flaws on.
Oh, man.
That was I think that's what attracted the author. I apologize, I can't remember her name.
Sophie Elmhurst.
Sophie Elmhurst. Their marriage not only survived, but it apparently was the key to keeping both of them alive. And but the book got to the point where if they didn't get rescued in the next chapter, I was going to quit the book because I couldn't take what they were going through.
Yeah.
Their bodies were deteriorating to the point of near death. They were down to, eating turtle eggs and drinking turtle blood, and the rainwater they saved would go south on them because of the intense sunlight, and they were developing horrible sores from the salt water, and their skin was leaving them, and it was just how they did it is worth the read. And then they were passed by 7 ships during that time. Wow. And finally a South Korean, and this is a real interesting twist in the book, a South Korean fishing freighter or trawler, a big boat that had been at sea for 2 years, saw them, and the captain, he was told, "Sir, we got something off in the distance there," and he looked, and he decided to investigate. And it's the only good thing that South Korean boat did in 2 years, because they were all afraid when they went back they were going to get fired because they were so lousy at what they were doing. They didn't catch anything. The boat was getting rusty. Everything was falling apart. They didn't accomplish anything. They were really bad seamen.
What sea was this? What ocean?
Pacific.
Okay.
And there's one part of the book I challenge. In fact, I'm going to write a letter to the author.
Don't think I will.
Here we go.
To whom it may concern.
It's not because I think she's not being factual. It's just because I want to know more. Marilyn and Maurice climbed up the ladder to get into the ship.
I know what you're going to say.
And I don't know how they could have.
They would have been so weak.
They were an hour from death. They couldn't have been more than a day from death. And they climbed up the ladder and got in the ship.
Well, you said it was nonfiction.
It's nonfiction. How they climbed up that ladder was the ultimate feat of their accomplishment.
How said I climbed up the ladder? You ain't got no fish? What's wrong with you guys? I'm hungry.
And the other interesting thing is that it really put South Korea on the map. I don't remember this story. It made national headlines.
What a year, roughly?
73. And they were feted by the South Koreans, and they had their moment of fame. And then they made another trip, and that went unrecognized. And then they made it into their 80s.
They went out again?
Yeah, they built a new boat, and they sailed from England.
This time it'll work.
Yeah, right.
What's the definition of insanity?
Yeah.
They went from England to Patagonia and back.
They're lucky they weren't in the Arabian Sea. They would have been shot out of the water, suspected as pirates.
I have a question for you in all seriousness. is the main reason this attracted you is because of the Lyman story? And because they're part of the show?
That, and it was a book given to me for Christmas. I took it with me, and I was on the sea last week. I read the damn book while I was at and I saw whales that could have... I could have been adrift in a dinghy.
What's wrong with Hemingway? Islands in the Stream.
I know. I've
Old
read
Man
Hemingway.
in the Sea.
I've read all Hemingway, and I love
Pearl.
it. But anyway, that was my author's corner for the day. It's called Marriage at Sea by Sophie who, John?
Elmhurst.
Sophie Elmhurst. Nonfiction. Bing, bang, boom. It was her
Author's
first
Corner.
book. She did a good
Sushi
job.
style. Who will it be next?
Saps at sea.
That was a Laurel and Hardy
Oh, yeah,
episode.
that's a different one.
Have another meatball, Dizzy. Made out of a sponge that they painted orange. Why don't you eat it?
You go ahead. You can try it. That's fine. Where's the goat?
Hey, I have a question, much like John's question about the N-word in print. How do you feel about Quentin Tarantino in Django Unchained using the N-word 110 times?
Was it said by...
Many times by white people. Don Johnson, for one, and was it Leo that was in that?
Yep, Leo DiCaprio. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't see that movie.
Oh, really?
No.
It's one of those movies with a 1 hour ending. You know how Quentin is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't it won a couple of awards, did it not?
Did. It did very well, and I think it might have been his highest grossing.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel as sad as I did that Leonardo DiCaprio couldn't get to wherever the hell he was supposed to go
Golden Globes? No.
to get an award?
Oh, he was in the Bahamas or something like
because
that.
his yacht was at St. Bart's.
Yes.
And he couldn't get a flight out because of the Venezuelan deal.
Sure.
Bummer.
Yeah, I felt bad.
I'm sure he was stuck there by himself, too, on that yacht.
No.
Oddly enough,
He,
on the USA Critic Awards last night, I think it was Chelsea Handler
Jesus Christ,
had a
he
funny
actually
line about
watched
that,
this.
saying it would have been okay, but he had to spend time with Jeff Bezos down there, so it was really bad.
Let me tell you something. That fool is on the list of people who can't lecture about the climate.
Right.
Because, Chris, he was accompanied.
He was. Okay, good. I don't want the guy to get lonely.
By a gal.
He's a hell of an actor.
That was the greatest line Ricky Gervais had when last time he hosted the Golden Globes. He said, I forget which film it was. Leonardo DiCaprio's movie was so long, by the end of it, his date was too old for him.
Nice.
That's clever.
That's not bad.
That's a pretty good line.
That is not bad.
And he ripped everybody. Ricky
Gervais was
did.
Is that the one where he opened by saying, just get your award?
Don't lecture the public.
Yes.
That was, boy, that was wonderful.
Oddly enough, he was never asked to do it again.
No, but he survived it
Yeah, he was great.
because he didn't give a bleep.
No, he did not. He did not.
He had a very interesting series. What, an 8-part series, 6-part series? This Is Life?
Yes, very good.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. You know, our traveling Lymans, they've been at sea. I can identify.
Well, yeah, you're a
I'm
yachtsman.
veteran of being at sea. And they are in, they're still in Kaiwaka, New Zealand. He has not corrected me on the pronunciation, so I bet I'm saying it correctly.
All right.
Well, you try it. Kaiwaka. Kaiwaka.
Kaiwaka, yeah. Sounds
Kaiwaka,
right.
New Zealand. It was on this day.
Joe, today is January 5th.
Well, on this day in 1805, Joseph R. Brown was born in Hartford County, Maryland. A drummer boy at Fort Snelling, he learned the Dakota language and later became a trader, a member of the Wisconsin Territorial Legislature, a participant in both the Stillwater Convention and the Minnesota Constitutional Convention, an editor of the Minnesota Pioneer and the Henderson Democrat, and an officer during the U.S.-Dakota War. He also was the first lumberman to float logs down the St. Croix River and staked out the first road from St. Paul to Prairie du Chien. He died on November 9th, 1870.
Probably not the first to float logs down the river. I'm sure there was many that preceded him.
Anyway.
On this day,
January 5th.
you're not supposed to look at him.
I'm not looking at him.
This is the bonus part of the show.
On this day in 1892, mining classes began at the U of M as Professor William R. Appleby instructed a class of 4 students in mining. On this day,
Joe, today is January 5th.
In 1928, who was born in Ceylon, Minnesota? On this day in 1928,
Floyd
Walter
B.
Mondale.
Oh, I was going to go Humphrey.
A lifelong public servant, he represented Minnesota in the Senate, occupied the vice presidency under Jimmy Carter, ran for president against Ronald Reagan, and served as U.S. ambassador to Japan. On this day in sports disappointment history.
Who would we lose to on Jan 5?
Well, on this day in 1969, the Vikings lost in a playoff bowl, the third place game, to Dallas, 17-13.
We used to have a third place game?
Don't do that, please.
What?
Make that noise. You're scratching your coin. On this day,
Is that what they call it these days?
Jesus.
I didn't know it's that loud.
Are you off your meds or something?
Welcome back.
Scratch your coin.
I still could be at sea.
His mom's been telling him that since he was
I'm
little.
glad you made it back. You were far out there.
You could still see
The
land.
island, right? The island's 10 feet away.
I swam.
Right? He's going to walk. Stand up.
I'm at sea. He's on a boogie board.
On this day,
Jan 5.
no, I was out there.
No, you were.
I was at sea. What day is this?
Jan 5.
On this day in 2013, the Vikings lost the wild card game to the Packers, 24-10.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad one. Joe Webb, right? Wasn't it the Joe Webb
think
game?
so.
Yeah, it was Weber.
Your hope for local sports success currently rests with your Minnesota Wild,
Don't do it.
who are having a hell of a road trip.
One of those games, they were down, I don't know,
3-0.
at the last 5 minutes, and they came back and won it. They didn't deserve to win, but boy, they won.
They have to go now. One more road game. I think it's tomorrow night. No,
The Kings. I think
maybe
it's the
tonight.
Kings tonight. Yeah.
No, they've played the Kings.
Are you sure? I thought they had 2.
Oh,
against
wait, they
the
have 2
Kings.
more. They got the Kings tonight, and they got the Kraken on Wednesday, I think, at Seattle.
The old West Coast trip.
They lost to the Kings in a shootout Saturday night.
Got the
Ducks.
point.
No, they lost to the Ducks.
So they played the Kings Saturday night, then they had played the Duck on Friday night. They had back-to-back games. They played the Duck on Friday and won, and they played the King on Saturday and got a point, but they lost in the shootout.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with that. Yeah.
Well, GLers, it's good to have you back or be back. I was at sea.
Yeah, he was out there for a while.
I was resting.
About
So
100 feet out.
Decided not to re-enlist.
Does it count if you're at sea and the boat has a chef? I think it does. Yeah.
What do you make? What was the best meal?
Well, I didn't rent the boat. Believe me, I couldn't have. But
I don't mean what does he make a year? What did he?
Yeah, what did you have?
What dish did you like? This
Cervaci. How do you say it? Cervaci.
Cervaci.
Were you on one of those trawlers that helicopters land on?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then tacos with beef and chicken and all the
Swimming
stuff.
pool.
You wanted to go home with him, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Were any Minnesota
You were
Vikings
at
on that
sea.
thing?
I was at sea.
You were at sea.
I was at sea. And there was a very front perch where you could go, and I sat on that perch as we left the harbor.
Look at him out there.
And a lot of
Thinking he's
family
Leonardo
members said,
DiCaprio.
"Say goodbye to Joe."
Yeah.
He's going to bounce right off that seat.
Do you think they would have cut the throttles and maybe swung her around to pick you up, or just he's probably at the bottom
Yeah, he
by
can
now.
swim.
I could have just hooked on another boat passing by. Well, GLers, happy 1926. No.
Swing and a miss.
That's 2026.
There you go.
100 years ain't what it used to be. Pretty soon, 100 years ago, it's going to be, 1950. That's not going to sound
Can
right.
I tell you a moment I had over the break?
Why not?
I was getting I was getting gas. I went up to the gal that's got the cigarette thing on there, and then it also sells liquor. I don't know why I had such an issue with this. Kids that were born in 2005 can buy alcohol.
Yeah, that's this guy in 2 days.
Wow.
When was your birthday? We've gratefully haven't heard about it today.
That's really a bummer.
What day was it?
It was the 23rd of December, but it's passed. I don't talk about my birthday after it's been passed.
Were we here the 23rd?
Oh, yeah.
No, we weren't.
He wore his shirt.
No, we weren't.
He wore his shirt with the birthday boy.
No, but that was the 23rd.
23rd.
Oh, yeah, we were here.
How long were you at sea?
Long time.
Long time.
Welcome back, Connor.
Do us a favor and smash that subscribe button, man. Did we have a lot of people viewing the Garage Logic YouTube channel today where, yes, you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. And you can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube along with all of our social media channels. That includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com. Time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And Josh, boy, today, oil, toil, and trouble.
Well, that's what an awful lot of people would think today, Chris, given some of the activities over the weekend. Dictator of Venezuela, Maduro, was brought back to the United States to face all kinds of charges. And markets were initially worried that, oh my goodness, what is this going to do to the oil market? And what is going to happen to stock markets around the world? What is the fallout of this going to be? And Trump again is exceeding his authority. Holy bucket. There's an awful lot going on there. And that doesn't even count, the Vikings having quarterback issues, Kevin Stefanski out as the coach or head coach of the Browns, more coaching changes going on, which could affect the predictions markets, and the governor of Minnesota deciding not going to run for a third term, even though I probably would have won. Lots going on. First off, the price of oil with what has been going on in Venezuela and the overall impact, and there's a lot of conversation around the impact, the potential impact of the political fallout, not to mention, is this only about oil? Venezuela has gone, I'll say, since the ascension of Hugo Chavez, from an oil-rich, capitalist-oriented country to an inflation-ridden, depressed economy. I guess that's to use the term of the new mayor of New York. Venezuela embraced the warmth of collectivism as opposed to the coldness of rugged individualism. You've seen how that has turned out in Venezuela, going from rich to poor and inflation-ridden as the rich people decamp to places outside of Venezuela, including the United States. Price of oil, well, some would have thought that the price of oil would have spiked on disruptions in the oil market, and maybe that would have happened 30 or 35 years ago when Venezuela was pumping a lot more, was pumping 4 times the amount of oil that they're currently pumping out right now. A lot of the oil that they're pumping out, some goes to the United States, a large majority does go to China. So China is going to see some fallout, at least in their energy costs, with energy coming from Venezuela. The president of the United States, President Trump, said it's going to take a while for redevelopment of the oil infrastructure or energy infrastructure in Venezuela, and that cost is going to be borne by many U.S. oil companies. The leading U.S. oil company in Venezuela is still Chevron, and again, Chevron could be a nice beneficiary, and Chevron, which is a member of the Dow Jones, saw their stock up significantly. Some of the other larger international oil companies, whether it's BP or Exxon, also saw their shares rise. Additionally, on this news, we also saw oil service companies like Halliburton and Schlumberger, Baker Hughes rise because their products would be needed for infrastructure development. And if you're doing any type of infrastructure development, that leads back to the company that makes the big yellow machines out of Peoria, Illinois, Caterpillar. Caterpillar seen a big move in their stock. Companies in the energy field that have been hurt by this, several of the local oil companies have been hurt by this. Companies drilling in the Permian Basin, seeing their stocks go down. Northern Oil and Gas saw its stock go down. Kinder Morgan, that's a pipeline company, saw their stock go down. The Canadian oil companies, Imperial and Suncor, have seen their stocks go down. Devon Energy also saw their stocks drop. Several oil analysts have been out saying this move is not going to affect the oil market that much, as there's plenty of oil around. But to me, there's plenty of oil around. The price of oil is still down, and for inflation, price of oil coming down and staying down, I think is a very, very positive sign. The overall fallout from what happened over the weekend in Venezuela is still going to take a while to fall out, but I'll say on a political spectrum, I think this move could hurt China politically, Iran, Russia, and definitely Cuba, which has been especially a big recipient of Venezuelan dollars. Moving away from oil, well, now we move into some things that you and I might be a little bit more interested in, as a big consumer electronics show opens up tonight in Las Vegas. Last year, there's an awful lot going on electric vehicles and autonomous driving. Probably still be some of that, and probably a little bit more related to artificial intelligence and we'll say chatbots, as well as computer chips. The leading speaker to open up the CES conference in Las Vegas is Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is now and has been seen and might still be in the future seen as a leader in, we'll say, the plumbing for artificial intelligence. And those chips designed here in the United States, manufactured through Taiwan Semiconductor, which is probably, which continues to get upgrades, could be a good bet. One of my favorites companies, the second largest position for myself and my clients, Amazon. Amazon has gotten a big boost on some of the products that they could be showing at CES, including their extension of their Alexa line with Alexa Plus and then Alexa.com, which aims to compete with ChatGPT, and that could be very, very interesting. So this week, pay attention to what's going on related to the energy markets and excuse me, the Consumer Electronics Show. More on that as the week progresses.
Once again, thank you so much, Josh Arnold, for the great talk and also the never, ever sugar-coated advice. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and to make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation, again, with zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.